Hello everyone and welcome to this video. In this video we're going to get started with deep web or the darknet markets. Alright, so for those of you who are a bit confused as to what deep web or darknet markets are, they essentially allow users to come together and obviously to sell digital products or actual physical products anonymously, and obviously with the whole idea of protecting your identity. Now most of these sales or the crypto or the currency used on most of these markets are cryptocurrencies, in the sense that you have Bitcoin, Litecoin, Monero or Ethereum, but most popularly you will find the use of Bitcoin and Monero on most of these markets. Alright, so payments have to be made with Bitcoin or Monero or if the site supports it, Litecoin. Alright, and in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency section of the course, you can look at how to buy these cryptocurrencies and how to store them in your wallet, and furthermore how to access them and how to use those and how to use the cryptocurrency. That being said, let's get started with our deep web markets. Now by default, I've selected 3 of the best deep web markets that are out there, dependent on their reviews and their security. Now when I say reviews and security, these are probably rated 5 out of 5 with the best security out there, and I'll be taking you through them very simply, and I'll be giving you an overview of how they work. That being said, I'll be posting the links in the resources section after the video so you can check them out for yourself. Okay, so getting started with the first market, which is the Wall Street market. This is a great market that you can get started with, and you can sign up for free, and you can also log in if you have an account, but I'm guessing you don't have an account. So what I'm going to do is just show you how to register, which is it's really very simple. All you need to do here is you need to just select your username and your password. Sorry, you can go to sign up for free here. Let me just show you how to register. So you can enter your username, your password, and it'll ask you to enter a CAPTCHA. Now I already have an account, so I'm just going to log in really quickly. I just created an account so that I do not have to take you through the process, because again, the process of entering CAPTCHAs is really long and tedious. Alright, so I'm going to enter my username. My username is user3456. Again, I just created a random account that I'm not really going to be using for any transactions. So I'm just going to log in now. I'm just going to enter the CAPTCHA 9ZM PX like so. And yeah, that's it. And I'm going to hit login. Alright, so I'm just going to log in, and hopefully it logs me in with the CAPTCHA being right. There we are. So it successfully logged me in. Now one more thing is I'm going to be blurring the content on the right here. That's because I do not want to give any publicity to any of the items or products being sold here. Most likely because they will infringe on copyright, and again, I'm not supposed to be showing you things that might incite you to purchase illegal items. So it's all to do with the illegalities and legalities. And if you want to experiment for yourself, you can go ahead and try it. You can go ahead and try the site yourself. Alright, so by default, you have on your top here your home, your user control panel, the support. You can also create referral links and refer your friends to the site if that's what you want to do. And you also have your quality control page, and finally your logout button here that allows you to log out. Pretty self-explanatory. On your right you have your featured listings. You have on your left here you have the items sorted depending on what they are. So you have software and malware, for example. That's just an example there. You have guides and tutorials, those being probably the most on the fringe of legality. You then have your top vendors. You have your rising vendors, and at the bottom here you have your 2 cryptocurrencies that are supported on the site, which in this case are Bitcoin and Monero, and you have their United States and Euro transfer, the actual amounts. Alright, the exchange rate, sorry about that. Alright, so that is essentially the Wall Street market. Now I'm not going to be covering everything because it is pretty self-explanatory. It's essentially just like using any market on the clear web. It's like using a site like eBay, apart from the fact that the products are going to be of slightly different nature. Okay, so that was the Wall Street market. Now let's move on to my second and my most favorite, which is the Empire market, because of its security features and protocols. So if you want to register, you just need to go into the register page here and just give that a few seconds to load up. I have noticed one thing with the Empire Market is that sometimes it may take a while to load up, but the site is almost always up. Alright, so as you can see, registration on the Empire Market. You're making the right choice by registering on the Empire Market. Choose your username, password, and you will be set to start trading on our marketplace using a secure escrow system. Alright, so the great thing about this is it asks you to enter a PIN and a login phrase if you choose to do so. You can also, after you've created the account and you've logged in, you can also enable two-factor of authentication, and you can also change your PIN and add a PGP public key here. Alright, that being said, let's look at the registration. You just need to enter your username, your password, you confirm your password, you enter your 6-digit PIN, which you must remember. You can skip your login phrase and your user. You can choose to invite a user if you have the username. And finally, you select your currency, which in this case, on most cases, will be United States dollars. You also have your Great British pounds. You have your Australian dollars, euros, and Canadian dollars. You then have your cryptocurrency defaults, which in this case, it supports 3 cryptocurrencies. You have Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Monero. Now, depending on the seller of a product or a buyer, in this case, they will tell you the cryptocurrencies that they support, and you can furthermore make payments, depending on the cryptocurrencies that they support. Okay. So all you need to do is just log in. All right. So just log in. I already have an account. You can just create yours. So I'm just going to log in, and my user for this site was user345. My password was 123456778. Again, you can go ahead and I'll probably delete the account before telling you this, obviously, but the account has nothing on it regardless. I just created them really quickly to show you how these markets work. All right, so I'm going to enter the captcha and I'm going to log in like so. There we are. And just give that a few seconds, and there we are. So again, I'm going to be censoring or blurring this right area here depending on the listings, again sorted up in terms of the featured listings. And on the left hand side, you have your account information. So you have the date you joined, the trust level, the total amount of sales in US dollars, and your total orders in US dollars. So the great thing about the Empire Market is it has a very, very good a way of setting up you as a seller. So if you want to become a seller, I would really recommend this site for you. Okay, so in terms of categories, they sorted out into all of these categories that you can go ahead and look at. As for the search options, you have your search terms, the product type, the price range, from what country, what country it ships to, the order by date, actually not the order, yes, the order by date. You have your in-stock options and the vendor trust level, which is very important. You then have your exchange rates here for Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Monero, which is excellent as well. At the bottom of the web page, you have your account security, where you can add your PGP key, your public PGP key, and finally you can enable your two-factor authentication. Okay, so again, it's all up to you depending on what you want to do. You can also, depending on the purchases that you want to make. And again, I'm not going to be encouraging you to use this. Now, by default, if you have JavaScript, what I was saying, if you have JavaScript enabled, it's going to tell you that they recommend that you disable JavaScript. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just disable JavaScript on this page, because that is what it recommends it here, as you can see, for better security. So I recommend that you turn off JavaScript for this page. Okay, now let's move on to our final market, which is, or actually if I just move back into here, and let me just, if I can just find it here, essentially, or yeah, we can just move on to the next market. I just wanted to confirm something on that over there. Let me just log out. All right, moving on to the dream market. All right, the dream market is probably not my favorite, but it's also a great market as well. And it was created in 2013, as you can see here. All right, so by default, I haven't created an account here. So I'm just going to hit sign up and we can do it together. Okay, so just give that a few seconds to load up the sign up page, and we can enter our details like so. And by default, it'll give you a suggested username that you can use. So I'm going to use that, and I'm just going to enter my password here. I'll go for 123456778, and my withdraw pin, which is essentially my pin that I use for withdrawing. So I'm just going to use this as 123456, and now it's going to ask me for my captcha. These captchas are getting really annoying now. UABA. All right, so that I hope that is the correct captcha here. and I'm just going to register. Let me just copy the username in case I forget it and it asks me to enter it. The PIN number is unsafe. Alright, so if it gives you that, don't worry. You just need to enter a new PIN. Let me just enter my password here. And I'm just going to change my PIN to something like 2244.5, and I'm going to enter the captcha here, like so, and I'm going to hit register. And the captcha was correctly entered. So yeah, this is really annoying. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to sign up and I'm going to get back to you when it's done. Alright, so I have registered, and as you can see, it's going to tell you, it's going to take you to the registration successful page where it's going to tell you, welcome to the dream market. First time users should read this guideline. So I'd recommend that you go through the guideline. Now, if you want to become a vendor or you want to start selling, you can also apply as a vendor right at the bottom here. Now, by default, just hit go to market and it's opened up the market in the next page. And as you can see here, I have, I'm going to be blurring this as well because again, it contains featured items that I do not want to feature, obviously for legalities and illegalities. So again, it's sorted in terms of browsing. You can sort, the goods are sorted in terms of category. You then have your exchange and your onion mirrors depending on when, depending on if the site is slow, you can choose one of these other mirrors, or if the site is not working on one of the mirrors, you can also change to the other one. Alright, so there's a lot of product here and the filters are right up at the top here, and you can look at the ship to countries that you can ship to as well here, which is awesome as well. You then have your ship from countries, the escrow, you have your escrow, you have your category, your cryptocurrency that you choose to use. In this case, you have Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash and Monero, which is also very, very good, and you can apply the filter. Now, I really don't like the dream market, most probably because of the security, and I would really not recommend this. But if you want to try out this market, you know, go ahead. It's also a good market. And again, these are the top 3 markets that I would recommend. You can go ahead and try other markets. But again, as I've mentioned before, security is very, very important. And it's all about, you know, protecting your identity and obviously the security of your purchases, depending on what you want to purchase. That being said, that's going to be it for this video. I would really recommend that you look at the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency section if you're interested in performing these transactions or actually buying services and products from the deep web or the darknet, whatever they may be. So that's going to be it for this video, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.